Good morning, students. So in our last classes, we have seen the block diagram of radar systems, and after that, we have seen the operation of the radar system and what is the basic radar equation there. Now, in this class, we'll discuss the prediction of the radar range performance. Already, we have seen in the last class, we have derived the range equation, that is R maximum is equals to PT into G into AE into sigma divided by 4 pi whole square into S minimum whole power 1 by 4. So in that, already we know that PT is equals to transmitted power and G is equals to antenna gain and AE is equals to effective aperture and sigma is equals to radar cross section and S minimum is equals to minimum detectable signal. So from this equation, so we have seen that the range, that is nothing but the distance from the radar to the target, depends upon all these parameters. So if you look at this, transmitted power which can be generated by the transmitter, it can be measured very easily, and gain can be measured very easily, and antenna aperture can be also measured easily, and 4 pi is a constant. Now if you want to predict the radar range, the problematic parameters are the scattering radar cross section area and minimum detectable signal. The main disadvantage of this radar prediction equation is the unpredictability in cross section and this S minimum signal. So because the radar cross section and S minimum signal has the statistical behavior, that is if atmosphere changes and any parameters will be affected by this radar cross section and S minimum signal. So if you want to find out the S minimum, if you want to find out the maximum equation and the maximum distance accurately, we need to consider all these parameters. So already we know the PT, transmitter power, is a constant one, and we can calculate the gain, and A is nothing but what the antenna size of the antenna which can be received by the receiver signal, and 4 pi is a constant, and S minimum is nothing but what minimum detectable signal, and radar cross section. So already I have seen in radar cross section means the radar which sees the target from its eye, that is supposed to be radar cross section. That is very difficult to analysis what size the radar is looking at the target. So that is the difficult in predicting the radar range. So if you consider this one, the major difficulty is to find out the radar cross section and the minimum detectable signal. Now let us go with the minimum detectable signal. So minimum detectable signal is nothing but what the minimum signal that can be detected by the radar receiver, that is supposed to be minimum detectable signal. So in order to detect the minimum signal, first of all, you need to get a threshold level. So that threshold level is nothing but what it is the required level that the radar system should be able to receive the signal. That is supposed to be minimum detectable signal. So first of all, we need to put a threshold level like this, as shown in the figure. That is whatever the signals which is received beyond that, that is above the threshold level, that can be considered as targets, and any signal which is received below the threshold level, that can be neglected. So that is supposed to be a noise. So while when we are transmitting a electromagnetic signal into the energy, the most of the electromagnetic wave will be reflected back towards the radar, and it will be received by the receiver. And all the received signal may not contain the target levels. That is, it has different levels of frequencies. There we should give a particular level. The values which crosses that level, then we can consider that there is a target. And if the threshold level, if the received signal is below the threshold level, then we can say the target is, we can say that there will be no target available. So that is the presence of the threshold level. That is the target which is measured at the threshold level is known as the threshold detection. Now the difficulty is the designing the threshold level. At what value we should give the threshold level value? The main difficulty is if the threshold level is very high. If the threshold level is very high, the whatever the echo signal which is not beyond the threshold level, then we can miss the target. That is supposed to be a major disadvantage. Let us say if we design the threshold level to a lower values, then most of the echo signal will be over the threshold level. That is, we can say the then the target will be considered as a noise. That is, it will be considered as a false alarm. So the main disadvantage is the threshold should not be high, and the threshold should not be low. So that is, while you are designing a threshold level, it should be a compromise between a high and low. While you are designing a threshold level, it should not be high or it should not be low. The main disadvantage is if the threshold level is very high, we can miss the target. If the threshold level is very low, the target may be a noise. Now let us see the example. We have seen here. This is echo signal we have considered from a radar system. So we have three parameters are A, B, and C. The dotted lines are indicated in threshold level like this, as shown in the figure. This is the RMS value of the target. There we have considered 3 points A, B, and C. So from the target already we have seen that A is well above the threshold level. So that is we can say that the target is present at B at A. So there will be no difficulty at all in detecting that the target is present at A. And so coming to the B, the value is exactly equal to the threshold level. Then we can say that there may be a target. We cannot sure, but there may be a target. While you're coming to the C, the value is below the threshold level. So that is we can say that there is no target at C. So that is A, as the value is more than the threshold level, we can say the target is present at A without any doubt. And B, coming to the point B, we can say that there is a target may be present or not. And where we are coming to the C, there is no target at all. So that is in order to differentiate A, B, and C, the main value depends the main parameter which differentiates A, B, C, and is the threshold level. That is, while you are designing a threshold level, you should not be high and you should not be low. So let us consider if the threshold level is over. Let us consider the threshold level is over the A, like here. Although the value of A is more, since the threshold level is more, so we can miss the target. So that is supposed to be major and major disadvantage. And if the threshold is very less, like the threshold level is here, so we can say that normally in our previous discussion, we have said that there is no target at C. But if the threshold level is low, then we can say that there is a target at C also. But this is also different. So that is, if the threshold level is more, we can miss the target. And if the threshold level is less, we can say we may get the false error. So false error is nothing but there will be a target is present, but it is not the target. Now let us consider to the prediction of the radar range equation. Already have seen that this is the maximum range equation. Maximum range equation, that is it is directly proportional to the transmitter power and is proportional to gain and is proportional to antenna aperture and inversely proportional to the SMM signal and directly proportional to the cross section. So in order to measure the radar range perfectly, the transmitter power should be high. The transmitter power should be high in order to increase the range, and gain should be also high, and the effective aperture should be high, and it should not be, and the minimum detectable signal should be minimum, and cross section area should be large. But while you are considering the radar range equation, the main problem with this prediction of the radar range equation is the problem with S minimum and radar cross section, because radar cross section and S minimum are statistical in nature, so it is very difficult to find out the radar range. So in order to measure the radar range perfectly, so there we should concentrate on cross section and S minimum. So it is very difficult to analysis the sigma. So that is the reason we went for the S minimum signal. Once again, I'm repeating. So S minimum signal. So that is the minimum detectable signal. If you want to find out the S minimum signal, if you want to find out the minimum detectable signal means the minimum level a receiver can be received. That is supposed to be minimum detectable signal. So already we have seen the minimum detectable signal S minimum is nothing but what the power received at the receiver. While if you want to give the minimum detectable signal, we should be given what is the minimum value. That minimum value is supposed to be a threshold level. That is, any value which is greater than the threshold level, we can say that there is target is present. If any value which is less than the threshold level, we can say that there is no target. The entire value depends on the entire target detection is depends upon the value of the threshold we have designed. That is, the threshold level should not be high and the threshold level should not be low. If the threshold level is very high, there is a problem that we may get the target, we may miss the target. If the threshold level is very low, so there we will get the noise as a target. That is supposed to be false alarm. That is, while you are designing a threshold level, there should be a compromise that it should not be low and it should not be high. If it is high means what happens, the target may miss, and if it is low, what happens, the receiver can be, the noise can be considered as an error. The noise can be considered as a target. That is supposed to be a false alarm. In this example, we have taken a threshold level. Now there we have considered the 3 points A, B, and C. So A is nothing but having the peak value is more, and B having average value, and C is having a less aptitude. Now the threshold level is given here. So from the figure, it is well clear that the value of A is well above the threshold level. So there is no problem with that. So we can say that the target is present at A. So there is really no problem at all. While you are considering the B, it is almost equal to the threshold level. That is, we can consider that there may be a target or may not be a target, but there is a possibility of a target. But where you consider this, it is well below the threshold level, so we can say that there will be no target. So that is, we have only possibilities of getting a target is either A or B. So most probably we will confirm that there is a target at A, and we need to confirm whether a target is B or not. So there we need to give some analysis whether the target is present or not at B. We should have some further operations will be performed, but we can confirm that there is a target at A. Now, how can you differentiate these targets? Or depends upon the threshold level. If the threshold level is more, that is, if the threshold level is more than that A value, if the threshold level is more, that is, we may miss the target, because as the value of the target is not above the threshold level. So that is supposed to be a major disadvantage. If the threshold level is less, that is supposed to be, if the value is less than to the value of C, what happens? The noise that is supposed to be, this is not the target, which is not the target, will be considered as a target. That is supposed to be false alarm. Now the weak signal such as the C would not be lost if the threshold level never be lowered. But too low, a threshold increases likelihood at noise alone will rise above the threshold and will be taken a real signal. Such an occurrence is called a false alarm. So false alarm is nothing but what? So detecting a noise as a target is supposed to be a false alarm. So therefore, if the threshold is set to too low, false alarm will be indicate, and if it's set too high, the targets may be missed. So that is, the selection of the proper threshold level is a compromise that depends on how important it is. If a mistake is made either by failing to recognize a signal that is present, it's a probability of miss, or and second one, falsely detecting the presence of the signal when none exists. That is supposed to be probability of false alarm. Hence, in order to predict the radar range, first of all, you need to know how the radar range equation is derived. So once again, I'm repeating how the radar range is derived. This is very important one. That is the only reason why we are deriving the equation again and again. While you are deriving the radar equation, there we need to construct two antennas. So first of all is supposed to be isotropic antenna, and the second one is supposed to be derivative antenna. Isotropic antenna is an ideal antenna which can be transmitted in all the directions equally. Whereas a derivative antenna which can be sends electromagnetic signal in a particular direction. That is, we need to consider the power density of the isotropic antenna, and after that we need to consider the power density of the derivative antenna. Now the radiation power density of the isotropic antenna is given by Pt is equals to the power density of the isotropic antenna is equals to Pt divided by 4 pi r square, whereas Pt is equals to the transmitted power and r is the distance between radar to the target. And after that we need to consider the power density of the derivative antenna, that is power density of the derivative antenna is equals to Pt into 4 pi r square into g. So if you see the difference between the equation of power density of the isotropic antenna and power density of the derivative antenna is the gain. So since for isotropic antenna, since it transmits the energy in all directions equally, the gain is always 1. So whereas the directivity for derivative signal, derivative antenna, the gain will not be 0, will not be 1. So that is, the gain is nothing but what the radiation intensity increases when we consider the isotropic antenna with respect to the derivative antenna is known as a gain. As the value increases, the gain also increases. So after that, we need to consider the receiving section. So receiving section, the power received by the radar antenna depends on the antenna aperture. That is, power reflected A is equals to Pt into Gt into A divided by 4 by whole square. And after that, we need to substitute the antenna aperture there. So after substituting the radar antenna aperture, we will get the radar range is equals to R maximum is equals to Pt into Gt into sigma into Ae divided by 4 by whole square into S minimum, and we need the total entire equation in terms of R maximum. So the value will be go to the other side, and that value will be 1 by 4. And after that, PR is nothing but minimum detectable signal. Minimum detectable signal is nothing but the signal which is received by the receiver, the power received at the receiver is supposed to be the minimum detectable signal. So just we are replacing the PR with S minimum. And after that, prediction of the radar range performance. Already we have seen the radar range. R maximum is equals to PT into gain into AE into sigma into 4 pi all square into S minimum 1 by 4, as we already discussed. So in order to predict the radar range perfectly, so we need to consider all these parameters. So if you look at the equation, all the parameters are all the parameters can be designed easily, but the problem with radar cross section and S minimum, the radar cross section is a very statistical behavior, so it is very difficult to analyze. So we went for the minimum detectable signal. The minimum detectable signal. So minimum detectable signal is nothing but the signal which can be received by the antenna, by the receiving antenna, which is the lowest level, that is supposed to be minimum detectable signal. So that is any value which is greater than the minimum detectable signal, we can say that that is a target. If any value which is less than the minimum detectable signal, we can ignore that value because it is not the target. Let us see. In order to get a minimum detectable signal, we should give a threshold level. That is a target which is described, which is detected at threshold level, or known as a threshold detection. The entire detection of the target depends on the value of the threshold level we have given. That is, if the threshold value is very high, so there may be a chance of missing the target. If the target level is the threshold level is very low, there is a possibility of getting noise as a target. That is the main disadvantage. So that is, let us see, we have seen, we have considered an example here. We consider an RMS value. We have given a threshold level which is indicated in dashed lines, and the RMS value is indicated in the dark lines. So there we have considered 3 points A, B, and Z. Now let us see the A. That is, we consider the point A. The point A, it is well over the threshold level, so we can say that there is exactly a target is present. While at B we have seen the value is exactly equal to the threshold level. That is, we can see that there may be a target is present, and at C it is very less. So that is, we can neglect there is no target. That is, the entire operation and the entire detection is depends on the threshold level. So let us say there are two possibilities. If the threshold level is more than the A, so already we have know that at A we have the target, but if the threshold level is over the A, then we can say that there is a missing a target. That is, supposed to there is a possibility of missing the target. Let us see if the threshold level is very low. Let us see if the threshold level is below the point C. In our previous discussions, we have seen there is no target at C. If the threshold level is reduced to C, then that noise is can be considered as a target. That is supposed to be main disadvantage. So that is, if you have two possibilities while you are designing a threshold level, we need to consider 2 points. That is, there is two possibilities. If the threshold is high, there is a miss of the target. If the threshold level is low, there is a possibility of getting an error signal as a target. That is supposed to be false alarm. That is, while you are designing any threshold level, you should have a compromise between transmitting and have a compromise between high and low. So that is, the threshold level should not be high, as well as the threshold level should not be low. So already I have seen the prediction of the radar range equation, and after that we have seen the minimum detectable signal. And so once again, I'm explaining the block diagram of the radar systems in order to understand the radar systems, understand the radar systems easily. So as the block diagram consists of the two parts, that is supposed to be, this is supposed to be transmitter section, and this is supposed to be a receiving section. So radar transmitting section consists of a pulse modulator, consists of a transmitter, and it consists of a duplexer. The main advantage of the duplexer is, in order to differentiate, in order to protect the receiver from the transmitter. So duplexer will add in two conditions, ATR mode and TR mode. So TR mode means transfer receiver mode, and whereas ATR means anti-transmitter mode. If the duplexer is adds as a ATR mode, so that is, it will be adds as a receiver, whereas if it is activating in TR mode, we can say that that will be acting as an transmitter mode. While you are coming to the receiving section which consists of a low noise amplifier, and whatever the received signal will be received by the antenna will be fed back to the low noise amplifier. Low noise amplifier means it eliminates all the noises and amplify the required signal, and again it will be given to mixer. Input to the mixer is low noise amplifier output, and local oscillator is the other important input to the mixer. A mixer performs two operations. So either it may add, or it may be separate, or it may be a simple value. Now, let us say if we consider two values, let us say the signal frequency is supposed to be f, and it is supposed to be f naught. Local oscillator frequency is f naught. The output from the mixer may be addition, that is supposed to be f plus f naught, and subtraction f minus f naught, and the final value is supposed to be f. Any one of these value can be considered for the operation for the next level. The signal will be going to the IF amplifier. So this is nothing but a matched filter. So matched filter is nothing but it selects the particular frequency from the mixer value. So that is, it can be select addition value, that is f plus f naught, or it can select either f minus f naught, or simply it can select only f. So that f plus f naught and f minus f naught are nothing but the sidebands. So in those sidebands it can select anything, and after that we will go to the demodulated section. After that we will go to the display, and after that we went for yes. This is the minimum detectable signal operation. Minimum detectable signal is nothing but we need to detect the particular target. That entire value depends on the threshold level. That is, while you are designing any threshold level, so that is, the value should not be high, and as well as the value should not be low. So that is, if you want to present the target, if you want to have the target, the value should not be low. If it is low, means we will get a false alarm. So false alarm is nothing but what there is no possibility of getting the target, but we will get as a target in the output section, that is supposed to be desired for test. Again, if the value is more, the threshold level is more, we may say that there is any target, there may be a possibility of getting a target will be missed. So if the value is very high, then we can say if the value is very high, then we can say that there is a particularly a target is present there. So that is while you are designing a threshold level, the value should not be high, and the value should not be low. If the value is high, what happens? The target may be missed. If the target, if the threshold level is low, there is a possibility of getting a false alarm. That is, while you are designing any threshold level, the value should not be high, and the value should not be low. That is the main disadvantage while you are designing a threshold level. So that is, if you want a weak signal, there is a possibility of getting two misses. The selection of the proper threshold level is a compromise that depends upon the how important if a mistake is made either by failing to recognize a signal that is present, that is supposed to be probability of the miss, or by getting falsely indicating the presence of a signal, and none of the signal will be present, that is supposed to be false alarm. That is, the minimum detectable loop signal plays a crucial role while you are detecting any radar signal, any radar target. That is, the minimum detectable should be, or the threshold level should be maintained in such a way in order to receive the target in a particular way. So that is, while you are designing any threshold level, it should not be low and it should not be low. That is, you should be compromised whether it should be high or low. So if it is high, will we miss the target, and if it is low, we may get the false alarm as the output. So this is with three topics. Let's see. Here is minimum detectable signal and prediction of the radar range performance, and radar equation, and the block diagram of the radar. Now, already we have completed unit 2, but most of the students have asked to again repeat the unit number 1. So that is the reason I am repeating unit number 1 again. So while you are considering the importance of the unit number 1, so first of all, you should know how the radar system works. So that is, first of all, you need to know how block diagram, how radar system works. So that is, we went for the block diagram. There we have seen two types of transmitter, two types of sections, transmitting and receiving. After that, we went for the radar range equation. Radar range equation, nothing but to see how much distance the target is there in order to find out the maximum range. After that, even for the prediction of the radar range equation, prediction is nothing but what we are assuming where the exact target is. So the main difficulty is with the S minimum signal and cross section. So we went for S minimum. So that is supposed to be minimum detectable signal. There we need to find out a minimum threshold level, and after that the RMS value will be calculated. So already we have seen in unit number 2, that is CW radar, whereas the entire operation depends on the Doppler frequency. So that is the Doppler frequency, whatever the signal received by the receiver, it should be over the threshold level and it should not be less than the threshold level. That is, whatever the signal which is received by the Doppler frequency, if the value is very less, normally the receiver is designed in such a way that, so in order to receive the very weak signals, why? Because whatever the reflected signals that is supposed to be echo from the target may not have the strength, that may be a weak signal. So that is the radio, that is the receiver should be able to receive very weak signals also. So that is the reason the radar is the receiver of the antenna is made very sensitive towards very weak signals. That is that value depends on the threshold level, whatever the value we have defined. Already we have seen in a continuous wave radar, the Doppler frequency, that is supposed to be the shift in frequency. If the shift in the frequency is added, that may be a frequency may be increased. That is, the frequency may be increased means the value may be over the threshold level. So that may be a possibility of missing the target. So in that situation, we need to get a threshold level to a required value in order to get the target should not be missed. In the same way, if the threshold level is very less, means there may be a possibility of getting a noise as a target. So that is supposed to be that is not at all a recommendation. So that is, while you're designing any threshold level, the value should not be high and as well as the value should not be low. So while we're considering the RMS value of the noise, if you consider any radar system, the RMS value, it may, in some situations, it may be high and in some situations it may be low. So like if any high value is occurred, it may be possibility of getting a wrong uh, target. If the threshold level is high, there is a possibility of missing the target. And after that, we have seen FMCW radar. In that FMCW radar also, we have seen the frequency is modulated rather than the amplitude. So this is the only reason why in FMCW radar it is only frequency modulated, since it is amplitude is not modulated. So why? Because if the amplitude is modulated, there is a possibility of increasing in the amplitude. If the increasing in the amplitude takes place, there may be a chance of getting value may increase to a threshold level. So that is the problem occurs. If the value increases, then the threshold level is decreases. So that is the reason why only we have FMCW radar, not AMCW radar. Why? Because in FMCW radar, and if you use AMCW radar, the amplitude may be increased. So that is not a recommendation. If the amplitude increases, means it may cross the threshold level. So that is the reason it is only frequency modulated, not amplitude modulated. This is the only application why a threshold level target a threshold level is used. And coming to the possibilities, and already I have seen these are the two parameters. Well, the selection of the proper threshold level is a compromise that depends upon the how important it is if a target is missed by either by failing to recognize a signal that is present or that is supposed to be probability of miss, or by falsely indicating the presence of the signal when none exists, that is supposed to be probability of the false alarm. And this is the end of the session. In the session already we have seen the prediction of the radar range performance, and after that the very important parameter, minimum detectable signal. And in this class again also I have explained you the previous class, that is radar block diagram and radar range equation. By the next session, we'll complete another two topics, and in this week also we have one interaction class with you. So there we will discuss what are the difficulties in number one, and you may ask me, you have any doubts, you can correspond me, and we have possibility of clearing. your doubts. This is the end of the session, and we'll meet in the next session.